This is radio for the revolution at RonPaulRadio.com.
Get a job and we can't get a loan. If you make one mistake, then you can't even vote. It's running low, but yes, there's still hope. There's still one man who deserves to get votes. The only real candidate I see in the poll. His only mandate is to uphold what was stolen. We're so close, we need a real solution. We want our freedom back and we want a resolution.
Yo, you're back. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. I'm filling in today for Hank Xavier. Usually it's HX Live. You can check me out in the mornings if you're up, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Again, that's Occupy the Media, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check me out. YouTube, too, Paco757, and Facebook, Paco Elijah. I usually put the clips up so that way you can hear them later. So I want to jump into another clip here. We have Obama says no to legalizing drugs, which is no surprise.
Entirely legitimate to have a conversation about whether the laws in place are ones that are doing more harm than good in certain places. I personally, and my administration's position, is that legalization is not the answer. That in fact, if you think about how it would end up operating, the capacity of a large-scale drug trade to dominate certain countries, if they were allowed to operate legally without any constraint, could be just as corrupting, if not more corrupting, than the status quo. Nevertheless, I'm a big believer in looking at the evidence, having a debate. I think ultimately what we're going to find is that the way to solve this problem is both in the United States, us dealing with demand in a more effective way, but it's also going to be strengthening institutions at home.
Okay, and Obama is flat out wrong again when it comes to this issue. First of all, how are they going to be running things if everything is legal? It's the fact that it's illegal that gives them the money. Without the money, they don't have no power. Without the power, they ain't running nothing. So you got to understand that. You know, we legalize these drugs, legalize marijuana, and then what people are going to do? People ain't going to be going to somebody they don't know, or their homeboy who knows somebody who got it, or somebody on the other cross town. No, they legalize it. People can grow it themselves. People can buy it from someone else, a local grower or a local farm. You know, people will start buying it from people they know. And then guess what? They don't got to worry about getting robbed or none of that. If they do, they can report it to the police and it'll be treated like anything else. But now the drug dealers make so much money. Why is that? Because everybody isn't selling drugs. Everybody isn't growing. So therefore, the demand, I mean, people can't get it so easily. So therefore, the price is going to go up because that demand is high. You can't get it as easily. So it's going to cost more money, you know, and the people taking the risk, you know, they're in this for making money, you know, but if you legalize it, it's gone. So they ain't going to be running anything. Obama's making a ridiculous argument. He's doing what his masters is telling him to do and play the game. We're getting raided over here in California. Our shops, Oaksadam just got raided. You know, he lied about the drug war. Obama is definitely not for us that want our freedoms for raw milk, freedoms for smoking marijuana, freedom for whatever the case may be. Obama's not for it. He's for taking our freedoms away. And now Latin America's saying, we got bodies everywhere. We got people floating around, bodies showing up, heads everywhere. They want to legalize it because they know they won't be able to. The drug dealers, the cartels won't be in control with it being legal. It has to be illegal for them to stay in power. So I want to jump to another article here that I came across. DOL is forcing media to use government computers. This is on April 13th. This is from Washington Examiner. Unrest is simmering in some quarters of the Washington news universe regarding changes in the way the Department of Labor manages its pre-release media lockups on sensitive data like weekly jobless benefits and unemployment. For years, journalists participating in the lockups have shown up at DOL at the appointed time, then entered a limited access area to receive the new data and prepare news stories for release as soon as official embargoes end. The system ensures that major news organizations get the data as soon as possible and allows journalists covering the release get a jump on providing analysis and opinion about the data. But Carl Felicio, Labor Secretary Hilda, top communications advisor, circulated a memo earlier this week to interested media informing them that everybody is being required to resubmit their credentials request. Felicio reminded participants that there are only 20 to 30 seats available for the lockups, and that priority will be given by DOL in selecting participants to those that are primarily journalistic enterprises. He also offered a one-sentence assurance that the department will not consider editorial or political viewpoints in making credentialing decisions. BS. Whatever. You guys know you want to get those that aren't exposing it or giving. If they're not saying it the way or giving the story you don't want them reporting on it. There's more government involvement. It says here, quote, second, as a measure toward enhancing security in its main lockup facility, the department will supply and maintain standardized equipment with a standard configuration for all participants. This change means that privately owned computer and telephone equipment, including hardware, software, cabling, wiring, and internet and telephone lines, will be replaced with equipment owned by the department. In other words, journalists will no longer be allowed to bring their laptops or other equipment to the lockups. They will have to use government-supplied equipment described by Felicio as including a virtualized desktop running a Windows operation system, a web browser, word processing software, an Adobe Reader application, and secure file transfer capability. Equipment provided will not have wireless network capability. Provisions will be in place for news organizations to transmit their stories over the internet. The changes evidently are in response, at least in part, to worries that some of the non-traditional news organizations allowed in recent years to participate in the lockups may not be using their access simply for journalistic purposes. And I wonder what those other purposes are. This is just more government involvement, more of suppressing the truth, suppressing the numbers, keeping everything worked within an inner circle that the government could keep their eye on. They can't have too much freedom going on around here. And then, that's going to take away their power. And this is just more way to control the media. I mean, dang, they already control CNN, MSNBC. I mean, that's what I tell everybody. MSNBC equals Obama, Fox equals Romney, and CNN equals both. And none of them like Ron Paul, and that's why I like Ron Paul, because the media can't stand him. People will say, well, why you gonna vote for Ron Paul? Ask yourself why the media don't talk about him. That's the guy that's for you, because the guy that they don't let on TV is the guy that's telling you the truth. Now, let's see here. I have another article. I don't know if I have time to read it all. Maybe I could jump into a little bit of it, and then I can tell you guys the link. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I think this is from ABC News. Where we at? Yeah, ABC News. Ex-reporter sues after alleged police brutality deleted off camera. Okay, so let's see. Christina Rhoda, a former anchor and reporter for Albuquerque NBC affiliated station KOB, is suing Officer Stephanie Lopez of the Albuquerque Police Department. In her federal court filing this week, she cited violation of the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments, intentionally spoiling evidence, a violation of the New Mexico Tort Claims Act against Lopez. She also cited negligent hiring, training, supervision, and retention against the city. We just filed this week, so the city will have 20 days to answer the lawsuit. Let's see. On April 29th, the reporter was sent by KOB to Tumbleweeds nightclub in Albuquerque following a tip about a rave party where underage people were allegedly allowed, according to the lawsuit. So basically, it goes on to say that she filmed the police being, roughing up some teenagers or some people out there, throwing them on the ground, I believe. And she recorded it, and they confiscated her tape. They ended up changing the tape, giving it back to her. She's filing a suit. Check that out on ABC. We'll be back.
It takes time, but we want the truth known. The truth is, we just want our troops home, but we can't